and we'll take it from here. Well, first of all, anybody who wants to speak, feel free to speak, and or write a message. I will get back to you on the message. Now, let me introduce myself. I think the picture behind me, you like it probably. Well, my name is Faisal Bachari, and basically in 1995, I was in 1990. I came to Canada, and I done my education here in Canada. I finished my high school, my diploma in international in business information system, and then I did my bachelor in administration in University of Winnipeg. I moved to Winnipeg, Manitoba. Some of you probably heard of it. And after that, I did my graduate studies in the international marketing from also Winnipeg, Manitoba. And after that, I did my second graduate studies in the international business with in UK. Meanwhile, my work experience after the graduation, I moved. I became a Canadian. Then I moved to Dubai, and I started working in Dubai for a university for science and technology. I did. Before that, I did working for an oil company in Abu Dhabi for 1 year, doing consultancy. They're trying to implement HR. Then I worked with, after that, I started working in Dubai for University of Ajman for Science and Technology. That's where I started teaching marketing, research, and management. And after that, I was asked by one of the companies in Kuwait to join them, although I didn't know what they're looking for. But because I was born in Iran, I was like 45 days old. I moved to Kuwait. So most of my family used to live to Kuwait. So I accepted the job. So I moved from Dubai to going to Kuwait. Then there where I found out that I'm working for the biggest integrated company in North Africa and Middle East. They had around 3,000 IT consultants, and I was in charge of launching a solution for higher education. Software. In that time, there was just a new application that you are using right now. 15 years ago or 20 years ago, it was just started. So I was working for the marketing department there, setting up their business plan for the whole company. And the company had around 28 branches in 22 countries. And one of the top companies in Middle East, because they had branches everywhere, and they worked only with the three industries: banking, telco, and I was looking after the higher education solution. Plus, I was looking after also the ERP solution. such as Oracle and IBM HR Access, IBM HR. So there I had to do a research because they didn't have the solution, the product, the market, the know-how for launching such a very important solution, because basically it was the top solution which is provided everything from A to Z. So we start from a student information system to a learning management system to a content management system to a library management system to HR to financial, and list goes on. So my goal was to set up a business plan and to see whether it's worth to go for a higher education solution, or they had a different plan to go for a hospital solution. So I started as a consultant, then I working with them. They said, well, we want you to be a permanent with us, working as looking after the higher solution, higher education solution for the whole market. And I said, okay. So that was my initial in the field of marketing. And we done a lot of research, but because I was the first person who started the higher education, I was asked to also be a one-man show, because most of the IT team that we had, they had no idea how to deal with the higher education solution. So I worked with them, taught them how, for example, taught the salespeople how to sell it, taught the marketing people how to market it, the IT how to speak with the customers, and set up with the suppliers, wrote a business plan, did a marketing campaign, did a marketing research, and we managed to install for over 10 or 15 years over around 23 universities. And I'm talking about 23 universities. Each installation was an average of $15 to $20 million. That's as an installation. And 10% of it yearly from each account as a support and maintenance, plus if there is an upgrade. So it was an average of $500 million was generated for the company because we picked the right product and we did everything is right at the right time. And started working in the higher education for a while. But meanwhile, I was working as a product manager for for Oracle in the marketing department, and as a product manager for IBM product. Then, after 13 years working with them, I moved to different sectors, which is, it was a mobile application. And there also, we started launching the new products. In that time, there was no mobile application. By the way, everything is recorded, so I will be launching it once the class is over, and you will find it on the Google, on YouTube. I will send you the link for it. And we will do that every class. Excellent. Please, if you have any question, let me know, and I will answer it. Now, when I started working for the mobile application, our first contract was signed for the government And it was the first mobile application built for a government. So it was a new one. I believe in that time that even they refused to have an Android app because there was not many Android users. It's funny. So they were asking, we decided to go with a Nokia ISO solutions and BlackBerry. But they said we don't have, I mean, nobody's using Android at that time. So we launched the application. It's about having the government using all employees of the government for Kuwait using a mobile app, which it was an edge in that time, where they can check their salaries, they can request for a leave, uh, sick leave, change their address, everything. So I had a team, and my team was working from different countries. I had a team brought from India, and I had a team was in India, a team in Ukraine, and a team in Russia. And all of them were working on a different subject. So I was managing them, yet marketing the product to the end users, which is the public of people, and how it is going to be happen. So we done some marketing research and found out when we're supposed to launch this product, at what time, and who's going to do it. So I've always enjoyed taking edge and doing a marketing plan, marketing campaign, and all driven from a business plan, which is mostly done as a marketing plan, which is driven from marketing research. Recently, well, 3-4 years ago, I started working for One Global, which is it's a VAS, mobile VAS, and it's about one hub shop on mobile, where you, a little bit complicated, where you connect your e-wallet to your bank, to your credit card, to your mobile. So you go there on one hub shop, you do all the activities like making electricity payment, the hydro, if you have any traffic, you want to travel, you can travel, buy the ticket, get the hotels, all the process, it's done with a one-stop shop. But it started with a place where you do buying games access, because we found out that most of the parents, they don't trust their kids to give them the credit card or passing that the information on through the internet. So they wanted to have an application where they can buy and download an app, a game, without having getting exposed their marks, their credit cards, basically. So started doing a business plan again, and according to that, we did the marketing research. We found out that we had a big challenge, and the challenge is the fact that they've been, by the way, it's a company, it's a EMEA, it's in Europe, in Middle East, and North Africa. And they established their branch in Canada, which is I was managing it. And they are expanding in USA. And it's a mobile application. You can download it maybe later on. If I'm going to give you some kind of an assignment, you're probably going to utilize one of these projects. And the challenge was we had to expand this product from a Canadian operation And we found out that we have shrine visitors, around 14 million people, moving from Iran to Iraq. And these 14 million people yearly, they go visit there. And right now, because they don't have any credit card or debit card integrated, they did take cash with them. Now, the other part of the challenge, so they were not, when they go there, they don't spend that much because they are very much worried about their cash. The other side, which has made it more complicated, is the places where there is the shrines and 14 million visitors, they also are cash-based. But the good part of it, the people in Iran who's visiting are credit card and card-based. But their card is useless because when they go there, it's a cash base. So the challenge is to build the application and promote it and market it in a way to a certain people to make sure this card is moving. And I was the chief operation officer for it. So I had a department of marketing who worked under my supervision, technical team, sales team. They all were working according to the business plan that we have set. That was a very successful, and we were the first people who did that. Then it was required so many traveling back and forth from me between Canada, Middle East, Iran, Iraq. So I had so much flying around. So I decided to move aside and start probably do a local business in Canada, where I got an offer in Montreal, working as a software selection consultant. And just like Gartner's, this company do a software selection for people, for company who wants to do upgrade or wants to do replace for the product. And when we are talking about software, we're not talking about replacing your software in laptop or your mobile. We're talking about big companies wants to replace, having 10, $20 million as a budget. They will be stuck for the next 5 to 10 years with this application. And it's important, like a financial application or an HR application or supply chain management application. So they wanted to make a good selection for the product. Now, my job is to come there, understand what's the customer wants, and then from there, take it to the right step, make sure all these marketing campaigns, that's some of them which is not true or unethical, the salespeople who coming from the supplier side, under control, and build a business plan where I put the whole, probably the whole decision making process in the hand of the buyer. So they will be in control. So there I will help them to build RFI, request for information, RFP, request for a proposal, and do the whole process up to making sure that they select the right product and they implement the right product. So I was working for this company in Montreal. And then I was called by one of the colleges here in Toronto, because in Montreal, my family said, well, we don't want to learn French, and we don't want to live in a French area. So I'm still working as a consultant for this company, Technology Evaluation Center, but I do a full-time teaching um, for one of the college and your college. And I was called to do teaching in Alpha, and I'm glad to have you guys as students. You will have fun, but just in case, it is on the internet, so the online thing, it might, reduce our interactions. Now, do you have any question? Anybody who has a question, please feel free to send it to me. Now, without further ado, I would like to share what the teaching plan, the learning plan with you, and I'm going to post it later on. So okay. Now, I will share my screen with you, and we take it from there. Just a second. Okay. Now, it's a marketing research. Well, it will be all online, and it will have a little bit technical, but mostly it's going to be more course that you will find it very interesting. Now, the question is, why do I need a marketing research? And that's a question that's most of us needs to answer it. You will be doing lots of work when you go to the market, doing some market research. Even if you are working in a retail shop, you will might probably perform some mental marketing research, find out who is supposed to buy what. But if you're lucky, you might end up working in building a marketing a plan, which is part of it would be a marketing research. Now, to do that is that the fact that you need to understand the process of selecting a product, pricing, promotion, the 4 Ps in it. So it is important is that you have the engine to develop a marketing plan. And the engine for marketing plan to have is the marketing research itself. You might be a part of team in the future where you have to build for your company or other company a business plan or a marketing plan, and that's where you have to work on it. Now, so the delivery method for this teaching will be online, and it will be on the screen springtime. Now, the assessment after week number 6, and I put it, we are now in a week 1. So on a week number 6, you will have a test, which is a 20%. We will talk about it later on before the test, because it might be a closed book or open book test. We're still in a process of seeing what's the best in this case. You will also have an individual assignment, which is a marketing assignment. And you will be looking at a marketing assignment available in the market on the internet. You download it and start evaluating it, whether it's done properly or not, with following the requirement that I will be showing and teaching you during the first 9 weeks. And this would be worth of 15% of your marks. And this is an individual assignment. Class discussion. Every week, we will have a class discussion. And I'm putting 10% on the class discussion. So I need you really to get involved in the class. Now, whether as a group or with me, you might, raise your hand, write something, or open the speaker and talk to me, so let everybody can hear you. It is important that we have a class discussion every week, so I understand you're not going to mark you on whether you're telling me something wrong or right, or you don't understand something. I'm going to mark you on your discussion, your involvement in that. And the least you are involved, the less I know you. And that might really affect your, not only your 10%, it might also affect your overall evaluation. Because in some classes, I had some students who had troubles writing their exams, but I knew they were really good when they start discussing the materials of the book, the information, the class they understanding well. But they had some family problems, so they couldn't do well in that test. And I gave them a very good mark because I know that that they were really good in this course. But if they were not involved in the class discussion, I probably would have had failing marks for them. So I need you to get pretty much involved in a class discussions. We will raise some points, maybe starting from the next class or the class after, and we might have a group discussions, and we might have the whole class discussion, writing, speaking, and I need you to get involved. Then on the week 12, we will have a second test, and it also will be worth 20% of your marks. And on the final one, on a week 13, you will be working on your group business plan assignment. Now, if we can manage this in this class, I'll break you into groups, and these groups can stay with each other for the next 13 weeks. And this group will provide me, will eventually come up with a final marketing research study and present it. Now, the good part of it is the fact that you are not responsible 100% for everything to be delivered. So with the discussion group that I'm going to divide, you will be dividing the task between each other, because I know some of you guys are good in presentation. Some of you guys are good in writing. Some of you guys good at research. Some of you guys is good in a final touch on PowerPoint, write-ups. So you will need to divide these works and between all of you and come up with a business, a marketing research study and present it. Now, when you get into a group, I would like to be, you will need to appoint one person who is in charge of the communication on behalf of you, to email things, to send things for me. And it is important because he needs to make sure that everybody is synchronized on these things. Now, the other thing, a week before the quizzes, the last point, a week before the quiz, I will tell you next week you will have a quiz. So right now we're setting up on the week number 3 and 7. It might be week number 4 and 8. We will see about that, how the things is gonna go with the classes. Now, do you have any questions? Okay. Now, I need to go through these, so we want to make sure we are synchronized, all the information. And probably in the earlier classes, some professors have done this for you also. Now, I have to read this stuff to make sure that you are understanding it. Basically, it's the college continuous policies. College academy policy stipulates that students must pass two-thirds of their courses, or 70% of their hours, to continue in the class, so as a full-time student. Now, the books that I'm requiring, it is, and I will show it to you later on. It is called Essential of Marketing Research. And I think the school has told you that you can go to McGraw-Hill and find out this book. and downloaded it. And we will go according to the chapters there. Probably we'll move some up and down, but mostly going to stick with the schedule that I'm going to announce it, which is this one, and I will be posting it for you. Now, I don't require any attendance, but the school does. It's for the immigration reason and for the staying there. So luckily with the Zoom, I can really see who is attending and when did they attend and what time they left. So I can download that utilizing the Zoom to see how many people are attending. Right now, I have around 18 participants is attending this class. Now, there is a divided participations. It is, as I said, it's very important that we all participate in the class. Please, it's not a one-way of communication. All of us should communicate with each other. The more you communicate, the better for me to understand how you can, get processed in this class. Now, you have to attend all the classes on time. You want to make sure that you are attending the classes. Now, some of you might not be attending 1 week or 2 weeks. I do understand that. But if you've been less attending, well, one thing I'm going to do is the fact that it would not be acceptable for the students who is doing most of the work, attending the classes, to end up with getting the same marks as the others. But unfortunately, this is the situation. If you're not attending the class, you're still going to get your marks if you're doing well. But just in case, if you're not doing well and you're not attending the class and you're not, how shall I say, you're not participating, then it would be very difficult for me that I will, for some reason you didn't do well in tests or in your quizzes, it would be very difficult for me to really give you the benefit of the doubt. And believe me, I had a few students who is really had a trouble in a class, in a test or exam. And some of them, which is they were participating with the questions, with the discussions, with the comment. And when they did bad in the exam, I had to reconsider them, give them, the benefit of the doubt. And the ones that I didn't know who were sitting back in the class, or they were very quiet, not getting involved, are those when they asked me, I was not able to really to support them. So it's important, all of us, as a one team. And my goal is not to lecture. My goal is to support you to understand the materials. So attending is very important. Now, after this, we probably will take a break and then we will get back to the class. But let's finish this, the topics that we wanted, the learning plan. And we're gonna stick with the topics that we are presenting here. It will be some of them up and down, but mostly it's gonna be according to this one. So here I have the whole week by week a plan for your classes up to week 13, because week 13 and 14, we will probably spend it, you are presenting your assignments. So on the, today is going to be, we'll be talking about, as we did, the course outline, for example, and getting knowing you, an introduction of marketing research in general. And we will have general information, which is, that's what we did. And we will talk about, group meeting, maybe in general about MIRA, marketing research, and management information system, how we go and we allocate information, and probably we'll talk about we'll see some videos about marketing research. Next week, we'll be talking about, so topic by topic, process and design. And by the way, process and design is 2 chapters. So I want you to go with the subject base. So you look at the process and design within your book, and then you study it. Now, most of our test is going to come from the notes that I'm going to share and some of the book. But mainly anything that I did not or we did not present it would not be covered in the test. On week 3, we will talk about the secondary database. In a very important, on week 4, we'll talk about the qualitative and then quantitative methods of data collection. Then whatever we're gonna accomplish in this next 5 weeks, we will have a test. The only challenging that we will do is the fact that I want you to come in a very creative way to come up with a survey measurement. Once you do the surveys, not in this teaching survey management, here it's going to be only a teaching, but when you do your final study, it's required a survey. So we want you to come up with a way of doing a survey. If it's not, at least you're going to show me how you're going to do that survey. Now, I will, we will take a short break, and I probably will come back in, say, 10 after 2. So, yes, 10 after 2, because it's the first class. And we will talk about the test, the book, and the study, and we will talk about the assignments and probably a little bit of the course. So please take a break, and we'll come back in 10 after 2. But I will be online answering any questions that you have. Okay. So let's go back to the the test, and then we will start breaking into different rooms. Okay. So by the way, because we will be finishing this class probably 5 or 10 minutes before 3 o'clock, because you probably have another class that you need to attend. So I do understand that you probably will have to attend these classes. Now, do you have any question regarding of the plan, the learning plan, or any other thing regarding of the whole learning plan? Okay. Do you have any question regarding of the book and how you get access to the book? Let me know so I can help you in getting the book. Now, already you have my email, and you can always send me an email regarding of if you have any questions, and I will be glad to answer your questions. Now, the book probably will do some new sharing, how it looks like. And basically, it is okay. Probably it would be, this is the book. It's called The Essential of Marketing Research. And you have two books. One is a smart book and one is a regular book, so ebook. So feel free to get to the McGraw-Hill and sign up there. I think it's for free, and then you can download the book itself. So let me know if you have any issues or problem, so I can help in this matter. Okay. Now, you have any question? Okay. I'd like to play a short video, and then after that, we will try to do a breakout room. So each group will meet each other, and hopefully there we can meet, and next week we can meet. Oh, by the way, I'm looking for each one of you send me their CV with a picture attached to it. Maybe if you have it available now, you can mail it to me, or you can have it ready and send it to me, because I need to know my students. probably also paragraph about yourself, what are you doing, whether you're working or full-time student, and your previous experience. So it's easy for me to put you in the right group probably. And it's easy for me to communicate, to understand what you're looking for. How can I help you in the outside market? If you need any support, any help, I will be glad to do it. But I need to you know me and I know you very well, just in case if we run outside to each other, we will recognize each other's faces. Right now, I'm just talking to a computer and you guys are listening to a computer. So unfortunately, this is happening, but that doesn't mean that we cannot interact on a daily basis. Now, there's one more thing I would like to generate is the fact when you send me your CV, try to send me your contact number, especially if you have a mobile number. So I will put you each group, and I will be on that group on WhatsApp, so you can share information with each other. And if you have any question, you can ask me at any time. So it's WhatsApp groups. So it's easy for you to communicate with each other. Now, if you choose not to be part of the WhatsApp group, just let me know in your email that you don't want to be a part of WhatsApp group. And I totally understand. But eventually, you and your group, only you and your group will have a communication through the WhatsApp. Nobody else from the other groups will be having this communication. So I think it is a good way of synchronizing information, making sure it's the plan happening, and hopefully, if you don't have a WhatsApp on your mobile, just download it so I can add you in your group later on. Now, what I like to share with you, first of all, just wanted to show you how this book looked like. Okay. Now, the book is basically by Joseph here, and there's 2 books. So feel free to download each one of them or both of them to have them, using them. And these are a good book. I looked at them, and it is there is only 2. This one, which is the essential of marketing research, and the second one is the ebook one. So there is not much books available in the McGraw-Hill in this field. But keep in mind, it is one of the tools that you might need in the future to do all the marketing. Probably I will try to use it more than a marketing tool. It would be also a way of doing a future research. And it's the 4th edition. So if you go to McGraw-Hill and you just put marketing research, you will see only 2 books available, which is one of them is this one. And you just work with it. Now, I'm just gonna play a short video.
Get a real-time bird's-eye view of your projects. Create project plans
This is the mantra of marketing. CCDVTP. I mean, I don't know if your boss quoted that. Probably not, because I just invented it. But what it means is your job is to create, communicate, and deliver V, value, to a T, target market, at a P, profit. Create, communicate, and deliver value to a target market at a profit. Now, let's take the create, communicate, and deliver. Creating value is called product management. Your product may be a service, but whether it's a tangible or an intangible, some way your company must have product management. That's creating value. But you have to communicate value. That's called branding. And that's brand management. There's a difference between product management and brand management. You could have 5 products. What have you done to brand them? To communicate excitement, differentiation, and so on. And then to deliver value is called customer management. So you're in 3 businesses: product management, brand management, and customer management. And they've changed. You know, product management was really this business of you have a company, and from the inside you make things, and then you ask the sales and marketing people to get rid of them. You do it inside. You do it with your scientists and engineers. What's changing in product management today? Take Procter & Gamble. The ones making a new product for Procter & Gamble are not just their scientists inside. They have connected with 10 times as many scientists outside. See, the old idea was you've got to do things secretly. In other words, you're inventing something that Unilever shouldn't know about. Closed doors. Now, P&G will tap scientists anywhere in the world where they have solutions to a problem that P&G wants to solve. For example, P&G makes Pringles, and they decided that for kids they'd like to print funny things on each Pringle, which is a potato chip. How do you print a funny thing, a picture or a word, on a Pringle chip? And their scientists couldn't figure it out until they identified a cookie maker in Italy who has been printing things on his cookies. So it's called open technology. Open innovation is the word we're giving. Find the best ideas anywhere they can come from. So with respect to product management, we've opened it up. With respect to brand management, brand building, that used to mean packaging. It meant a name, a logo. Brand management today is what you're all about. The brand is a promise. The brand inspires everything you do. The way you act when you're approached and when you reach customers. And it's emotional. It'll be highly emotional. And there's a new direction. Emotions were generally thought, the formula was this: I'm going after your mind, I'm going after your heart. I want mind share and I want heart share. Now we're saying we also want spirit share. Share of something a little more than narrow to your own interests. We might be a firm that is civic, is caring, and we want to be appreciated because we care about the shape of the world, and that's called corporate social responsibility or whatever, but in creating an emotional relationship, it's more than limited to the person's own nurturing of his or her ego. So CCDVTP, and even the D of customer management has changed. Customer management, do you think you're doing customer management if you essentially have a database of customers, and you're reaching them through direct mail and online email and so on, is that really customer management, or is that dealing with a database? What's new about customer management is we want to meet the customers and know them really beyond the database. In fact, we want to get their help, to get the customer's help in creating products. We want to co-create with the customer our products. And we want to even co-create our advertising. We want their help in creating ads for us. Now, this is a radical change in marketing.
Now, anybody tells me who's this person? Anybody? Okay, he is Philip Kotler. He is the father of the new marketing, and most of the books that you're reading, the famous books, are written by Philip Kotler. He is the one who comes up with the new, the marketing books and marketing undergraduate and graduate books. Now, I also like to share another video with you. So, and we will then from that, we'll go for probably a group meeting and group discussions. It's about how to do business, basic market research.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of my Small Business Entrepreneur video series. My name is John Edmonds. Today, I want to talk about how to undertake basic market research. Market research is highly recommended for all small businesses on a regular basis, and for startup businesses, it's absolutely imperative. Market research ensures you know your place in the market and what niches you intend to trade in. It makes sure you keep track of your competitors and their prices. It makes sure you keep track of your industry trends and new products and services which are launched. In fact, market research is your gateway to understanding everything about where you fit into the bigger scheme of things. For a startup business, market research is absolutely imperative. I've been involved with helping start up over 300 new businesses over the last few years, and out of the ones that failed, the main reason was almost always a lack of market research. You see, a startup business simply can't do any kind of accurate budgeting or cash flow forecasts or identify target markets or even understand where they fit into the marketplace without first undertaking some sort of market research. Market research sounds complicated, but it simply means looking at the market for your products and services. How big is the market? Where do you fit? Who are your competitors? What prices do they charge? Market research helps you understand what your competitive position is in the marketplace, which lessens the risk of competitors beating you and helps you make much better marketing decisions in your business. There are basically 5 different areas of market research that you need to be looking at: products, customers, pricing, promotion, and distribution. So let me deal with them one at a time. Firstly, product research is examining what you're selling and how it compares with similar products in the market. For example, you need to ask what the features, advantages and benefits of your products are compared to your competitors. A simple comparison chart listing these might be the best way to go about it. During product research, you'll discover what kind of market share that you might get and what you could attract. And you might discover any new technologies connected to your product that you might be able to exploit. Secondly, there's customer research, which examines who your customers are and the numbers that might buy your products. You might break down your customers into target niches, such as by age or by geographical location or by income. The more you segment your customers, the more you can market and sell to the various niches. One of the things to look for is how loyal customers are to your competitors, and what is it that makes them change to your product. For example, you might decide to survey customers and gain their opinions about your product and about your competitors' products. You might compare what after-sales service your competitors provide against what you are prepared to provide. Thirdly, you need to undertake some pricing research. This is key research because it will probably define what you're going to charge. In another video, I talk about how to set prices, so you might like to have a look at that video. You need to be competitive, but you also need to be profitable. If you're a startup thinking that you'll undercut all your competitors, then you need to think carefully and do your sums. Your competitors have been around for a lot longer than you, and there will be reasons they charge what they charge, and it might not be profitable to charge any less. One thing to look at is what kinds of discounts your competitors provide and whether your price points can match theirs. For example, do they offer loyalty bonuses, and if so, what do you have to do to compete? Fourthly, there's promotion research, which looks at what you're going to spend on promotion. Online, advertising, exhibitions, conferences, public relations, publicity, sponsorship and the like. And then compare that to what your competitors appear to be spending. You need to ascertain, as far as you can, what impact your advertising has against what impact your competitors' advertising has. Compare your marketing activity with your competitors. How do they advertise? Do they use newspapers, television, mail shots, email, in-house leaflets, etc.? How often do they promote? And what products do they promote the most of? The answers to these questions will provide you with answers to how you're going to promote or how you need to change your promotional ideas. Fifthly, there's distribution research, which examines how you get your products and service to market. There may be both direct and indirect channels of distribution. In some cases, depending upon the nature of your business, there might be intermediaries such as sales agents or wholesalers in between you and your customers. The question is, in what ways are you the same or different from your competitors? For example, if you sell a lot of products, then does bulk packaging help or hinder your sales? How do your competitors package their products? With market research, you really do need to know what you need to know before you undertake the research. Of course, there may be things that you don't know, but that will be likely exposed during your research. For example, there may be competitors out there close by that you didn't even know existed. So how do you undertake all this research? Firstly, there's internal research, meaning within the business. This type of research is usually free and just takes up a bit of your time or somebody else's time. You can often glean information from your own computer or data systems such as customer numbers, which products sell and don't sell, best sellers, worst sellers, different sales in different locations, staff and customer opinions, etc. Secondly, there's external research. Some major sources of external research are the internet, obviously, libraries, government agencies connected to business, chambers of commerce, other marketing databases, Bureau of Statistics, business magazine articles, newspaper write-ups, technical data, trade and industry associations, and also your local college or university. You might be able to think of many more. Of course, the information from these places is unlikely to be in the form that you want it, and you might need to do quite a lot of reading and analysing. Thirdly, there's field research, which means going out into the world and using observation and experiments and questions to gather your data. Observation might include visiting your competitors and actually watching what people buy. An experiment might be to do with a taste test, if you have a new range of confectionery, for example. In respect to questions, you might simply put together a survey questionnaire and ask people in the street to answer them for you. And I often see people in the street with questionnaires. You often wonder what they're doing, but often they're just doing market research for business. If you do consider a questionnaire, then you might like to get a university student to put the questionnaire together, because to gain the right answers, there are certain ways to ask questions. Questionnaires should always be designed by somebody with technical skills, because if not written properly, a question might evoke the wrong responses, which can lead inevitably to incorrect research data. Market research can be relatively inexpensive if you do it yourself, but it can also be a little bit time consuming. Fourthly, there's quick market research, which is where you simply make a list of your top 10 customers and invite them to your office for a few drinks or a little promotional party, such as your first anniversary party, and then you purposely ask them questions either individually or as a group. And these questions might be, what do you think I can do better? Or why did you use me rather than your competitors? And how do you make your buying decisions? In academic circles connected to market research, you'll hear the words quantitative research and qualitative research, and you need to know the differences between the two. Quantitative means quantity. You have to have research samples big enough to provide reliable information, and this might mean asking 100 people rather than 10. Qualitative research, on the other hand, is all about quality and is usually a bit more difficult to nail down. Qualitative research involves assessing people's feelings, emotions and motivations, and more concerned with depth rather than breadth. Qualitative research is all about subjectivity. I've mentioned quantitative and qualitative because it's important to understand what kind of market research you're undertaking. Is it gaining numbers and facts, or is it trying to assess feelings and thoughts? Market research needs to be budgeted into your financial forecasts, because although much of it can be done free in-house, there are wages for people undertaking the research and the time and energy which might have been used elsewhere. If you have the money, then you might want to consider getting somebody else to do the research for you. There are market research agencies out there, but they can be quite expensive if you want them to do everything. And you will probably be looking at thousands of pounds rather than a few hundred. In fact, many market research agencies won't work for you unless you're prepared to commit at least £5,000 or more. They're not being greedy, it's just that there's often a terrific amount of person hours involved in market research. If you do decide to appoint a market research agency, then organise to spend a couple of hours with them first. You need to spend time with them to assess how professional they are, what their costs are likely to be, how they actually work, and how comfortably you'll be using them. If you go into a market research agency with an open checkbook, then you can be sure that they'll find ways to spend your money, because market research can be as big or as small as you want to make it. Therefore, you'll probably also need to discuss where savings can be made by scaling down some of the research and discussing what's possible for what you can afford. Another option for doing your market research is to hire a freelancer. For example, some university students, business students, might be interested in doing paid market research work in their spare time or vacations, rather than working behind a bar. It's not unusual for university lecturers and tutors to help businesses find market researchers from their student population. The tutors may then tie the market research project into the student's learning program. So it's always worth checking with the business school at your local university. Finally, if you're a startup doing a business plan, then market research is absolutely necessary, because readers of your plan need to see that you've done your homework. They need to see, for example, that your projected figures in your cash flow and profit statements are based upon good market research and not just simply plucked out of the air. In closing, if you've ever watched Dragon's Den on the television, you'll have heard the words market research constantly being mentioned by the dragons. It's so important, but it's also so easy to be tempted not to do market research. I can only say this: if you don't do market research before you start your business, then your business has a lot greater chance of failing than if you did do your market research. Thank you for watching. I trust you found the information in this video helpful.
Okay. Now, do you have any question? Okay. So probably I will try to put you in a group. The only thing that I believe it's about why do we need to do a marketing research? So many businesses in life failed for a reason. And the reason is they probably didn't do their market research, or they don't have enough information. So the information comes from the market research. Now, most of you, if you're going to work for a company, your boss will tell you do some marketing research, and they're going to ask you of verifying this information. So he's asking you for a market information and ask you for a verifying. To verify it, you need to do a marketing research. So at the end of this semester, you will be doing a presentation where you need to attend this meeting, this presentations. Now, I will try to put you in a group right now, and basically you need to be very quickly to know each other, because in 5 minutes You just need to share some contacts, and in the next class, right away, we will put you in a group meeting. Now, I like to say one thing. I'm very friendly. I'm going to make sure that you can have a fun in the class, but I don't like to see somebody from you guys are taking the rights of others. So if you want to play around, please do it somewhere else, because I can screen you out, I can kick you out of that meeting, and you will be in trouble with me. It's not a threat, it's just I need to protect the rights of other students that they are there to learn. So, and I have to report that numbers of the people who are attending the classes and the type of the people who are attending the classes. Now, before I put you in a group, I just like you to know the picture behind. The picture behind me, I think it was 3 years taken, 3 years ago. It's the Empire of Persia. It's located in Iran. I took a trip there, and it is a huge place. It's basically Empire of Persia. There, when you go, you find out that the things the way it's run is like United States today. It's an empire. Under that, so many empires, and all these empires goes to submit or be submissive to this empire. Any king who does not come and visit on a certain days of the year this location and brings gifts to this empire, he will be in trouble and get invaded or replaced as a king. So it's nice to go there and see it, because I saw the pyramids in Egypt. I took so many trips in my life, been traveling so many places, so many, but this is the most impressive place I ever seen. It's a huge place, and it's around 2,500 years at least, and one of the oldest civilization in the world. And probably the older than this civilization is the Babylon civilization, which is located in Iraq. I also went and saw it there during the war and everything. It was like wonderful to know where did the civilization start in the world. And this was an extension of the civilizations. Now, we will speak about it some other times. Now, let's see if I can create a break rooms. Okay. So I will make no, 4 participants per room. And please have a very short meeting just to get to know each other. Try to make it unmute. Okay. Hi guys,
Hi sir,
how are ya?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. How many of you guys there? 4?
We are three right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys need to stay together because until the end of semester. So the best thing you can do is just stay together, exchange the emails address, because every group work will be the same thing, okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, see you sir.
Next week we'll talk more.
Yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
Bye.